Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be playing some Temur Vannifar Pod. So the deck itself is built around this pretty little creature, so Prime Speaker Vannifar. So she has tap, sack a creature, and you basically search your library for a creature with converted mana cost 1 more. So this card is basically modeled off of the old artifact called Birthing Pod, which was one of the most powerful decks in Modern until it got banned. It was the first deck I played in Modern, and it saddens me that I can no longer play Creature Toolbox. So the deck itself, like I just mentioned there, is a toolbox deck, meaning we're playing a lot of one-ofs that we can search for in the event that we need specific answers to specific threats. So we're playing 4 Rhythm of the Wilds to give Vannifar haste the turn it comes down. We have Llanowar Elves as early ramp. We have Dire Fleet to get some of the opponent's removal spells, exile cards from their graveyard. We have Kraul Harpooner to get rid of flyers. Trinal Branchwalkers just as a bridge card. It can help us draw lands and just filter out our early draws. Hydroid Krasis doesn't really play well with Vannifar in the sense that we can't really search for it with her, but it's just such a good card and can refill our hands if we're running low. Exclusion Mage is to bounce creatures. Goblin Chainwhirler is to deal with like tokens. Elvish Rejuvenator is a 3-drop that we can get us some land to help ramp us, while also sacking into one of our 4-drops. Reclamation Sage is here to blow up artifacts or enchantments. I'm trying out Gruul Spellbreaker. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it's still a 4/4 body for 3. Riverwise Augur can allow us to draw and put some cards back so we can get the chain going in case we get anything that kind of falls out of place or is in our hand instead of being able to search for. 2 Rekindling Phoenix. This card's really good with Vannifar because we can sack and then it comes back. So our 5 drops are Siege Gang Commander, 2 of, and 1 Biogenic Ooze. So this is really good threats and kind of a diversity here. They create tokens as they come in. We're also playing 1 Dream Eater and 1 Ravager Wurm. You know what, actually, before we start, I don't think the Spellbreaker is that good. Let's see 5-drop creature, what we should put in here. Let's just go to the other view. So this will create some tokens as well. Return target instant or sorceries. Demanding Dragon. Not that good. Skarrgan Hellkite might be better. Probably Hellkite. Don't think anything else is as good as those guys. There's Tendershoot Dryad, which can make more tokens. Let's try out the Hellkite. It's a big creature on its own. Don't think we really want Tatiova, it's pretty fragile. So let's try that out. With these decks, there's so many variations in terms of how you can play them. Because you're playing all one-ofs, it's really just kind of what creatures suit you best. I like the Temur version better than the Bant version because you can give it haste with Rhythm of the Wild, but we'll try it out and make switches as we go along. So as we get started, if you haven't done so already, a free and easy way to support the channel is by subscribing. It costs you nothing and it goes a long way to help building out the channel. So this hand here, we can Merfolk Branchwalker into Rejuvenator into Prime Speaker. We have our 6 drops in hand, which isn't ideal, but having the bridge to Vannifar isn't the worst, and we have options to try to get into our next line drop. This hand's a bit slower against some other aggro decks. We also have all our colors, which is good. So I know Aliza Eldrazi was playing a few variations when the standard set first came out, but let me know which version you like the most, what deck you've had the most success with. Okay, so perfect. So we draw the land here, hopefully be able to Rejuvenator into Prime Speaker. interesting that you see the green here. Perfect. Have that enter tapped. Electrostatic field into Rejuvenator. Certainly is a spicy one. So we're going to play out the Prime Speaker here. And we won't attack. I want to sack the Rejuvenator. No blocks here. So here, sack Rejuvenator. Get Rekindling Phoenix. Play out the Worm. Put a 1/1 counter on it. And fight the dinosaur. That animation's awesome. And no attacks here. Tali's scary. So Ooze is pretty solid here. So I'm actually going to Branchwalker here. Get Exclusion Mage, bounce a Tali back for a turn. And opponent concedes. So this was actually a really good demo of the deck itself, just seeing how you could kind of pick up each of the particular useful cards at the time, and then get the opponent from there. So we'll play again. Hopefully get against something a little bit more competitive. I've been on a pretty good streak with Sultai recently in ranked, so don't really want to mess up the record there right now. This hand does very little. We're punished if it's a fast start. Rhythm's really good if we can get that down. Opponent looks to be on Grixis. Thief scary. So the tough thing here is they're going to be able to steal some of our one-ofs, which makes it a little awkward. Second Thief is also quite bad. So if they have a removal spell, we get it back anyways. Contempt is terrible there. Probably the worst thing they could have done. Trying the second Vannifar is also really awkward. Third one is even worse. Opponent also has 3 cards from us now, so I don't know what we can necessarily chain into. They got our one of Kraul Harpooner. If they attack, I will trade here. Ooh, they have a Shivan Fire as well. So they opt not to take the Ooze, which is interesting. Another Rhythm isn't that good. They play their own Rhythm. Down to 26. Okay, Phoenix is really good here. Okay. Screwed that up. I forgot we were short of red land mana. But we were probably dead anyways. They had a good amount of removal. So the deck's weak to flyers, which shouldn't actually be the case. We should probably put in a Carnage Tyrant in the deck. I think that's what we'll do next. Carnage Tyrant, drop one of the Krasis. Wish we had a red mana. See if they have the shock here. They do. It's fine. We're unlikely to hit something on 2. They drop a Phoenix. So it would have been great. I actually should have played the breeding pool there. So they have a Spell Pierce, it hurts us. Okay, so they shock, that's fine. Misplay, should have had the Rhythm out. And now they have the Drake. So this enters as 5. So somewhat bailed out there. They have the Phoenix. So here I'm just going to get Rhythm down. I'm going to play the breeding pool and then next turn shock and then play so we can draw an extra card. Siege Gang's pretty good there too. Siege Gang lets us shoot future Phoenixes. Ooze is really good as well. We're just going to make it as big as possible. It's a little weak to shock at first, but so the Entrancing Melody, which is rough. So here we can let's go with this, put a 1/1 counter on it. So if they have another Phoenix, we're dead. We most likely do, but we are probably dead. That's 2 spells, but do they have the third? Lava Coil, yep. Couple misplays on our part. So it turns out this pod deck's very much similar to Modern in that it's not forgiving if you misplay. When you're not playing a lot of one-ofs, let's try it. We really want another land to help bridge us. Elf here's not bad. Closest thing to a land. So really need to hit a land off this. We need more green. Have that enter tapped. And we'll Vannifar next turn. Burning Sun Avatar and Rhythm. So if we would have drawn a land, I would have actually gone Hellkite. We do have one of our 6 drops in hand. We need to be mindful of just like a big Ghalta or something here. No blocks. So we'll go to attacks. Hit for 1. Sack this. Get a Phoenix. And put a 1/1 counter on this so now we can shoot some of their creatures if need be. So Naya. I've only seen the dinosaur out of it right now. So they can bring back Burning Sun to their hand. So here, I'm gonna sack and then get the ooze. Opponent gives us the GG, but let's see if they let us get it. And then we'll end the turn. And then Dream Eater if they play anything scary. Destroy all creatures. That is very weird out of a dinosaur deck. Here we will float the mana, let it didn't let us go into full control mode. Siege Gang gives us the most value. We want to go into full control mode there, drop in the Dream Eater and blink the Rhythm. They have the Nikia. So here we need to pay 2 life. Scry like that, keep Exclusion Mage on top because we could bounce it again. And then we can attack in for 5. fine. Exclusion Mage, bounce, attack him for 5, win the game. Opponent gives us the good game. And take it down. It's very weird to see a board wipe out of a big creature deck, like maybe Clarion, but I was not playing around Cleansing Nova. So let's make a couple tweaks. I think we want to drop this, go another Kraul Harpooner. Actually, this might be pretty good just to gain some life. Let's try that out. Because we're going to be sacking a lot of creatures. Get it off that. Let's try it out. This is the fun thing about Pod. You really just can play these random creatures because you're not casting them a lot of times. I think we will give it a run with playing Band Pod. See how that goes. This hand does nothing. This hand's a little bit better. Not the best, but helps us kind of inch closer. Healer Hawk. So it's actually pretty good. It gives us a target on 2 to play this out. And we can Rhythm next turn. They play Legion's Landing. So here, do we go? I think we wait one more turn for that. I'll just play out the Rejuvenator here. Get the land. No attacks. This holds them back as well. And then we can Reclamation Sage next turn. Blow it up. They don't have 3 creatures anyways, and they don't have haste out of the white decks. These are, although we would need creatures for the pod chain, they are somewhat throwawayable. Pridemate. That's interesting. Tree Meter is pretty sweet. We could bounce if they get a big Pridemate. Blow that up. No attacks. So the white source might be for something like Dovin, Deputy of Detention, which isn't really that good against our deck. So they get rid of the Harpooner. See how they want to attack. So a block like this does make the Pride Mate bigger, but it was going to get bigger anyways. That's perfect. So we could Dream Eater, bounce this, and hopefully block the Deputy. So unfortunately, we have to do this now. Just to get the value out of it. Let's bounce the Pride Mate. So we can ambush the Deputy here. We don't want to bounce the Deputy because then they can exile the Dream Eater on the way down. Wish we had the extra mana so that we could have Rhythm that turn and then got Phoenix. If we can get out the Ooze or even a Chainwhirler, it's pretty much... Or actually, even just getting out a Goblin Chainwhirler would be pretty good. Just clear a couple of these creatures out of the way. Resplendent Angel. Healer Hawk, so they don't have enough mana for Resplendent Angel. So play out the Rhythm. Put a 1/1 counter on it. Of note, this makes a 5 power, so it can trade here. Put a 1/1 counter on this as well. Just get a breeding pool. And opponent concedes. So the deck's actually been pretty sweet. So I think we'll call it quits for now with this deck here. Let me know what you think in the comments below, any additions or subtractions in the toolbox you'd suggest. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to keep supporting the channel and to get notifications whenever we have some new videos up. Thanks for watching and have a great one.